Today, I want to talk to everyone about negotiation. A key part of our industry is about negotiating and understanding how to negotiate. I find that any broker, anyone watching that's come into the industry and is quite new, gets given a phone, gets given access to data, and gets told, oh, where you go, start calling. You might be dealing with the wealthiest 5% in Dubai. So that person who's worth 50, 80, maybe 100 million, knows how to negotiate. They know what they're doing. And if you are fairly new, you don't know what you're doing, and you don't understand how to negotiate, or you're doing it because you need the money, the buyer or the seller will smell that. The buyer or the seller will pick up on that, and they will take advantage of that. Negotiating is about leverage, looking for the leverage, understanding the leverage. So today's video is about understanding the art of negotiation, understanding what you need to do in order to become a top negotiator, and what mindset you need to be in to make sure that you get your point across. So first of all, we need to have multiple plates spinning, okay? When you're entering a negotiation, the biggest part is not needing the deal. If this is the only deal you have on the go, the only deal that you have, there's nothing else, you need it. I can feel you need it. You can feel you need it. Whoever else is involved knows that you need it. So the chances are you're going to have your hand forced in order to get the deal done. That is where commissions get dropped. That is where, if you're the seller and you need the deal, the price gets dropped, the lowball happens. So understanding all of this is how you're going to become a top broker and negotiate millions of dollars worth of deals. There's 5 separate outcomes when coming to a negotiation. Win-win, win-lose, compromise, lose-win, win-lose. You have to be looking at both parties. In our case, we have a buyer and we have a seller. We're looking, saying, is this a win-win scenario? Is this lose-lose? Win-win is where buyer offers, seller accepts. Everyone is happy. Lose-lose, when buyer comes to a point and he or she says, this is what I'm offering, take it or leave it. And the seller says, I'm not accepting, take it or leave it. That is lose-lose. You lose the deal. A compromise, the asking is 5 million, the offer is 4.5, the seller accepts 4.5. This is a compromise. It's a win-win, but it's a compromise. Okay? Win-lose. The buyer offers 4 million on a 5 million unit. The seller doesn't have any offers. It's been marketed for ages by multiple people and he needs to sell. This is a win-lose. Okay? And lose-win is when you have a unit, the price is 5 million. It's a fully renovated unit, one of one. Multiple people are buying and it starts a bidding war, as an example. And you know that 5, 5-1, 5-2, 5-3, it ends up 5-5. This is a win-lose. And this happens through emotion. So when you're entering the negotiation, you have to look at both parties to understand who in here, are we going to compromise? Is there a win-win scenario here? Is there potential for lose-lose? Or is someone weaker than the other? Does someone need this deal more than the other? So when you understand these 5 scenarios, you can start to build in the 4 steps of negotiation. So step number 1, prepare and enjoy. Strange as that sounds, enjoy the negotiation. Prepare for the outcome. Anticipate what could come out of it. So first of all, that's looking at the scenarios that can happen. And then it's enjoying the negotiation. Don't become confrontational. Don't become rude. This isn't a personal negotiation. This is purely transactional. Therefore, being nice, kind, you can still be stern and get your point across. Point number 2, sell value, not price. Anything purchased is purchased on value. Price will reflect that. If the price is right, there is a value to it. Make sure that every party understands the value in the deal, whether it's a buyer, whether it's a seller. It's irrelevant whether it's an investment or whether it's a personal purchase. They have to understand the value. Step number 3, giving. Always keep something to give. Don't give everything. Don't walk in to a deal and unload everything that you have in your hand because you have nothing left to give. Always hold something back to give, to finalize. The last, step number 4, do not be afraid to walk away. There is a scenario that doesn't work for everyone. The strongest negotiator knows when to walk. Get up and walk away from the deal. If you're protecting a buyer, if you're protecting a seller, make sure that you're on that side and you do the right thing by the client. And what that means is, if it's not going to happen, you will find another option. And make sure the buyer or the seller is on your side to go again. So, moving on from that, I have 4 principles of negotiating you must note down and you must learn. Every single time we're entering in a negotiation, I want you to think of these 4 principles, just so key to getting through it. Principle number 1, don't be rude. Negotiate hard, negotiate stern, but don't be rude to the person. It's in your interest to understand exactly what that person is going through and why they're either buying or selling, why they won't pay you a fee, or why they're trying to negotiate. You need to understand. Stay stern, but don't be rude. It's not personal. Principle number 2, negotiate, not position focused, interest orientated. I let that sink in. What that means is look for the position, not at what's going on. I'll give you an example. 3 people want to buy a pumpkin. There's 1 pumpkin available. There's 3 buyers. One of the buyers wants to buy the pumpkin for the seeds. One of the buyers wants to buy the pumpkin to make pumpkin soup. And one of the buyers wants to buy the pumpkin to create a Halloween mask. By trying to sell all the buyers the same pumpkin, the outcome is going to be difficult. But understanding what the interest of the buyer is and what the need of the buyer is, you can understand that one of you wants soup. Does it have to be pumpkin soup? No, fine. We'll put you onto something else. One of you wants seeds. Does it have to be pumpkin seeds? Yes, fine. You need the pumpkin. The other one wants a mask. Okay, we can change the mask to something else. So understanding what the interest is in that negotiation then helps you lead them to the next step in order to achieve a win-win. Principle number 3, develop criteria that a solution must fulfill. People don't give negotiation enough time. You have to process everything. What I mean by that is when you receive information, goes through your head, normally the answer comes straight out your mouth, into a message, onto a call. You have to understand and think of every single outcome. As an example, you invite someone for dinner at a restaurant. Straight away, it's a negotiation. If I phone you and say, we're going to go for dinner tonight, yes, what makes a good restaurant for you? It has to have good music, it has to have alcohol, it has to have a view. Okay, fine. I'll book a restaurant that has really good music, that has alcohol, and that has a view. Okay, done. By asking that question, you are fulfilling the criteria with a solution prior, and you're missing the negotiation straight away. The last principle number 4, people like to choose. Give 2, not 3. People want options. They don't want too many options, but they want options. So if you're looking at buying, show 2 units. If the client doesn't like those 2, remove 1 and add another. Do not keep adding. Whether you're selling under construction, whether you're selling ready, whether you're selling to homeowners, whether you're selling to investors, 2, not 3. Remove and add. Don't add too much. I think using everything that we've talked about today and adding your own flair onto this is my rules of negotiation. This is how I negotiate, and this is what I'm thinking about when I'm entering a negotiation. My advice, take this down, write out different parts and see where you fit into this. But you should be in a state of mind of understanding how you're going to negotiate. It doesn't just is a structure, there is a process you have to follow in order to achieve the success.